Each individual team is about trying to become the best that they can possibly be.
Everybody knows that there's going to be a game. There's an excitement in the air.
We just try to go out every Friday night and try to represent Oceanside to the best of our ability and try to put us out on the map.
Obviously, their success speaks for itself. It's unprecedented in San Diego County and in California.
Coach, prepare us for this night, week in and week out. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go, buddy. Let's do it, boys.
We got a special guest here who's going to toss the coin for you tonight. Okay, the head is the white, and the other side is the tail. She's going to toss it in the air. It's going to fall on the ground. What's your call going to be? Tails. Tails is the call.
So it never fails.
For the Oceanside Pirates football team, it's business as usual. Teamwork, dedication, perseverance, and excellence have made Oceanside High School what it is today.
Push the bag down.
The program has set the benchmark for excellence this past decade, winning 6 consecutive CIF titles and 2 state championships. It is a program rich in tradition and steep in accolades.
It's Friday Night Light. If Texas thinks they have a lot of us under their spell of Friday Night Lights in Texas football, it's nothing compared to Oceanside High School Friday Night Lights.
It's about fan enthusiasm, sideline enthusiasm. We have an awful lot of alumni that come back to the games. It's a community event. Like I said, it's family. I think that the people in the stands are a part of the family. They feel the pain of loss and the thrill of success.
It's crazy, actually. It's I don't know how to explain it. It's one of a kind feeling. It's seeing my family out there and my friends, and being out there with your brothers on the field is really nothing like that feeling.
It's intense. It's like, I don't know, it's one of a kind. You really got to experience it to explain it. It's crazy.
Simcox Field is home to the Oceanside Pirates. Named after former Oceanside football coach John Simcox, visitors and opposing teams entering Simcox Field are greeted to an old, rustic facility where the dim lights and rickety bleachers hover the field.
The old stadium used to have seating that came all the way down to ground level, so if people were standing at ground level, the people in the first 6 rows couldn't see. So that was about a third of the seating on the home side.
You didn't dare move until halftime because there was no room between the wall and the back of the press box and where the seats were, and you had to get by the timer and the scorekeeper and the guy that was running the scoreboard and all that to do it. Well, there was just no way out.
You had big crowds of people milling around, not really able to see the game. It was a frustrating experience. And at the same time, it was exciting.
By the end of the season, it was worn down, and it was, but that was part of the tradition there. And it was, you know, we always had the saying, we do more with less when it came to the field.
The visitors in our stadium actually had a better view of the football game than the home crowd.
But to those in the Oceanside High family, it's a landmark etched with memories and ingrained in the tradition.
You know, memories, incredible memories. I've been fortunate enough to this be my 22nd year and played an awful lot of games out there. And had an awful lot of big games out there and an awful lot of big wins and key wins.
Well, having played on the old Simcox, I'm pretty familiar with with all the nooks and crannies of the old girls. It was a great place. There was a lot of great football teams that played there, a lot of great athletes.
When I talk to people who've been here for years, and there are many people on our staff that went to school here and then came back to teach here and have retired and come back and still come to games and come out to the field and stand on the edge of the field. That field was a friend of theirs. It was a place that they remember from childhood. It was a place they remember watching older brothers and sisters play.
Guys like Willie Buchanan, Junior Seau, Charles Dimry, the list goes on, C.R. Roberts, Herb Meyer coached there. Just a lot of great memories.
My fondest memories of that time was we went to Chula Vista for a game down there, and I'll never forget this. CR wore number 36, and he went into this group of blue and white jerseys, and he came out the other side. He didn't have a jersey on anymore, and went for a touchdown. It was the only score of the game. We won the game 7-0, and the Metropolitan League Championship as a result of that touchdown. That was, I always remember that in my mind as a great game.
Throughout the years, the facility began to deteriorate, and safety issues have become a concern. It was time for this 104-year-old stadium to get a makeover. Finally, on February 2010, Simcox Field was torn down to pave the way for a new multi-million-dollar facility.
We're building a brand new stadium to replace a 104-year-old stadium that we had before. We had a very old field that took constant maintenance and conditioning. We had stands that were bordering on almost being unsafe. We had, press boxes that didn't accommodate things. We didn't have the appropriate locker facilities, and now we will have appropriate facilities at both sites to accommodate fans and great athletic teams.
Construction really started on site actively about the 1st of February and has continued nonstop since then. The project includes a complete renovation of the field, track, and stadium at the Simcox Field here at Oceanside High School. The work included demolition of all of the existing improvements, field lighting system, grandstands, track surface, and pedestrian and surface areas, and a reconstruction of that in a new and different way.
It includes a complete rework of Simcox Field, the addition of 2,500 seats over what we had before, bringing the total up to about just over 4,000 seats.
We're adding a new synthetic football field, a 9-lane synthetic track, and underneath the grandstand on the home side, we'll be adding new restroom facilities, new locker room, a fitness center.
At this end, we have a series of accessible ramps for wheelchair access from the plaza level up to the mid-aisle level.
Our kids are great athletes, great competitors. They're well coached, and they do a terrific job. It means a huge amount to our community, which has a rich tradition of athletic and academic growth. But the athletes have represented Oceanside incredibly well, and you want a first-class facility, and quite frankly, we didn't have a first-class facility before that.
During the construction, people could see the changes taking place where the old Simcox Field used to be. What was once home to hundreds of games and thousands of players throughout its existence, Simcox Field had been reduced to nothing more than an empty dirt lot. The construction process was all part of a bond measure aimed to improve the schools in the Oceanside Unified School District. The overall goal of the program was to provide high-quality facilities for all Oceanside students.
The voters a couple of years ago passed a proposition, Proposition H, which allowed us to take that money and rejuvenate, renew, or rebuild our facilities. The proposition was about $190 million proposition, and along with other state matching monies, it's probably well in excess of $225, $230 million.
There are upgrades at many schools, Lincoln Middle School, for instance, and several. I think there are probably 19 or 20 schools that are receiving bond monies from Prop H. And again, it's a commitment of the people of Oceanside to show our young people and our educators that that they believe in their future and they believe that what we do is very valuable.
We appreciate the voters of Oceanside building first-class facilities, not just the football stadium, but the math and science technology building, all of the new classrooms. I mean, Oceanside High School right now, for any alumni walking on this campus, it's a brand new school.
It's very humbling and very gratifying to know that our community supports us like that, and in turn we want to, again, show our very best with our excellence on and off the field, in and out of the classroom.
And one of the things that was important to the community was to rebuild both of our stadiums at El Camino High School and at Oceanside High, because they're a large community value to us. And so the voters agreed to that. We were very clear that this is what we were going to do, and we've moved forward with that, meeting our commitment.
Well, early on, before Proposition H passed, the district hired firm of D.A. Hogan to study the fields and come up with a master plan.
We've actually started the concept design and the planning for the project in 2007 as a precursor to a bond election that occurred in 2008.
The first phase of that master plan for athletic facilities at the secondary schools was included in the Prop H bond campaign, which is the new stadium for Oceanside High School, as well as new synthetic field and track at El Camino.
The design process was fantastic. Bob sat down with people in the school, all of our coaches, asked us what we needed, laid out different options for the field, for the track design, for where we're going to put our long jump runways, our pole vault, and the result was a field and a stadium complex that exceeded all of our expectations.
It's always a challenge to work within an existing program and an existing infrastructure on a high school campus. One of the bigger puzzles about this project was how to maintain and keep use on as much of the field and court facilities on campus as possible and do construction at the same time within a high school campus.
One of the biggest issues with the old Simcox field was its lack of durability. Because of the inclement weather during the fall, it has always been difficult to maintain a playable field during the football season. For the most part, the field had been limited in its use outside of football to preserve the grass.
First and foremost, the athletic facilities are for physical education, and we have, we can have up to 1,500 to 2,000 students a day taking physical education, and part of that is using fields.
One of the challenges with the regular turf field is when you have inclement weather, it certainly damages the field, and it's very difficult and costly to get it in shape for the upcoming games.
Original grass field was not able to be used extensively throughout the year. It was pretty much devoted to the varsity sports, both football and soccer, and wasn't really available for use for the educational function on site because it needed to be maintained at a higher quality level.
For us, the disadvantage of the old field would be like in bad weather. When it rained, we couldn't go on it as much, and we had to save it for games, and we were really limited in practice.
The old Simcox field had been around an awful long time. And as a result, it had seen an awful lot of crowds, an awful lot of games, and there was an awful lot of wear and tear on the facility, and it had gotten old.
With the installation of synthetic turf in the new stadium, this will allow expanded use of the facility for other purposes.
The synthetic turf can be used essentially every day of the year as much as possible. It's a benefit for both the education program, the PE programs on site, as well as all the sports and community use.
Now you have facilities that can be used in poor weather, certainly not in torrential downfalls, but they recover quickly and you're not off of field, so that's great.
The stadium is an instructional space. We do teach all of the skills that are a part of our athletic program in terms of wellness and healthy living.
The other part is that the facilities eventually will be used by our community-based agencies, and that's important to us too, is that not only are they for the school, first for the school, but the city of Oceanside will be able to have youth activities in those facilities, and we have all kinds of other organizations asking to use the facilities.
As the Oceanside Pirates prepare for the 2010 season, there is excitement within the Oceanside community. Not only are the Pirates going into the season as defending state champs, but also the opening of their new stadium has created a sense of anticipation leading up to their first home opener.
They're absolutely thrilled to have a first-class facility. They're anxious. They want to be on them right now. And what I've heard many times is, well, it's about time.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's truly a first-class structure. It's going to have everything that a fan would want to have going to a game. It's going to have everything that a participant would want to have in participating in a game.
People are peering over that fence all the time. They're asking for pictures. They're asking for updates. It's a very exciting time.
Me personally, I walk over and take a peek over the fence anytime I can to see how it's coming along and what it's looking like.
It's very exciting. Hopefully opening up against Mira Mesa on our home field, having new turf, a brand new stadium, bigger stand so that all of our family and friends could fit in there perfectly, so it feels good.
It's just a first-class environment that I think makes not just Oceanside High School or Oceanside Unified School District, but also the city of Oceanside look good.
And we want to certainly have academic excellence. That's what we're all about. But we also want to have facilities that for athletics that match our academic facilities. And we've spent a lot of money on rebuilding Oceanside High School and El Camino High School to make them first-class classroom facilities. And now we'll have the athletic facilities to go with it. So I think the community is very pleased with what we're doing.
You look around, Oceanside High School has been the #1 school in San Diego County in many ways over many years, both academically, athletically, performing arts, etc. We have a lot to be proud of. But now you look around this stadium. This is not just a stadium. This is an athletic physical education complex. Without question, there is no other school in Southern California that has a facility like this. We are now #1 in facilities as well. Now what we need is we need to fill it. We need to fill it with people that are excited to be Pirates, people that are excited to take a look at this beautiful facility and to show every other school that enters our campus just what Oceanside is made of. And it starts tonight on this field.
It had been 8 long months since the old Simcox field said goodbye to the Oceanside family, leaving behind the memories of past teams, championships, and the legacy of Pirate pride. However, this evening is the beginning of a new era and a culmination of all the hard work and effort put forth by everyone involved.
Friday nights in Oceanside, the place to be is at OHS for Pirate football. Well, we expect a huge crowd. The district's invited over close to 200 VIPs to be part of the opening ceremonies. People are talking, our student body's excited. We expect a large crowd and large enthusiastic crowd.
The atmosphere here is just phenomenal. It's always phenomenal. You always feel lots of intensity, lots of love, lots of support. And so it's just always great to come back to where you started from.
I graduated from here, and my 5 kids graduated from here, and now my first grandson's graduating from here. So I'm all excited. I'm all into the Pirates.
Well, I haven't been in it yet, but it looks good from the backside. Well, when I first came in, I said, God, this looks like a college stadium. It really looked nice.
As the crowd began to fill the stands, Oceanside High School was ready to christen a new addition to the Pirate family.
At this time, I'd like to call forward our school board president, Emily Ortiz-Wichman, to do the official cutting of the ribbon.
It's unbelievable. When I was in high school, I didn't have anything like this. We had to play at a junior college, which was nice, but playing at your own high school right in the backyard. There's nothing better than that. So it's amazing. It's a packed house.
Lillian Adams,
hopefully the Pirates won't let them down.
Thank you.
All across the United States, from small towns to large cities, high school football has become a community gathering. Oceanside High School is no exception. With the new Simcox field, generations of families, friends, and alumni will continue to crowd under the Friday night lights to cheer on their beloved Pirates, all sharing a common bond for years to come.
The best way that I can describe it is family. There's, Oceanside goes back 100+ years. And there's an awful lot of tradition at Oceanside High School. Graduated an awful lot of very successful key alumni in the city. And I think that all alumni, the current students here, the students that will become here, the future alumni, and the past alumni, all take pride in the sense of success and excellence and anything that has to do with Oceanside High School.
You see generations of families who have either played or attended Oceanside High, brothers, aunts, and uncles who went there. You got players that had their dad and their dad's dad and their dad's dad went there, and it's a big deal.
I'm just really excited about the level of the improvement and the quality of improvement that this is going to add both to the campus as well as to the community of Oceanside. I think that it's going to be a fantastically used facility that will serve the community and the school for many, many generations.
Hopefully it will affect them positively and bring more Oceanside players or more good football players to Oceanside so we can keep the tradition rolling and bring more banners to Oceanside High School.
You know, whatever happens at this school happened before, happens now, and happens later. Will always be teamwork. If we're going to be successful, it's going to be that team that makes it successful.
Coach Carroll talks about memories of Simcox Field and generations of people that have played there in the big games, and all of those things bind us together as a community. Simcox Field is still going to be that. It's going to be that for 50 years of kids that go through it and their families. Those memories are going to be a part of our city's life and our city's community.
Pirates. We are pirates. I'm proud to be a pirate. The reason being is because the world cannot teach us what is taught on this campus.